Hey, what's up, fellas and my luscious female fans? StevealiciousTech here with a look at the iOS 14 beta running on an iPhone 10. I'll talk a little bit about why I chose the iPhone 10 to run the new OS, as well as the new features and UI enhancements I think you're really going to enjoy. Today on this edition of StevealiciousTech. And we're back. As always, thank you so much to all the new subscribers. If you like new tech, old tech, new phones and old phones, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. And also, if you like the content, that helps the channel grow as well. And that also warms my heart. So the iPhone 10, why would I choose that to beta test the new iOS? Well, the iPhone 11 or the current iPhone is never a good deal at this point in the year. You're always paying full boat, and with the next iPhone around the corner, you're definitely getting gypped. The iPhone XS might be an option for you. However, I daily drive a XS. I went back to my 10, and I couldn't tell you the difference in performance. If it was there, it was very slight. Face unlock, pretty fast on both. And I think the software has gotten better on the 10 as far as being a little bit quicker with the face unlock. So I don't see a difference in there that would be worth $200 or $250 of your dollars. This particular one you could get for $450. I'll leave a link down in the description for the Amazon renewed 90-day warranty. And you might be saying, well, wait, hold on a minute. The iPhone 11, the base one, $699. Why would I not spend an extra $250? Get the latest and greatest? Well, the problem with that is this particular iPhone 10 and the one I link is spec'd out for 256 gigs, whereas the base iPhone 11 at this point at that $699 price tag is 64 gigs, which if you're going to keep it for a few years is basically useless. So you want to go ahead and get that 256, which is $850 on the iPhone 11. So we're going to compliment Apple here for a second, and then we're going to smack them a little bit later. So don't worry about it. We're going to be balanced. We're going to give it both sides here. The first thing, this is a 2.5 to 3-year-old device. And I could honestly say that it is probably only halfway through its support life cycle with Apple. They support these devices for 5 and 6 years with the latest and greatest software enhancements, and they take the time to make sure they actually run well on the device you're using. And everybody jumps up and down and gives the big applause to Google because they guarantee those 3 years of software updates. And that in the Android space seems incredible because Samsung, you have to pull their teeth to get 2 years and you have to wait for it and they stink when you get them. And LG, a phone that I'm testing, the V20 for next week, literally got 1 update. Android 7 to Android 8, then it was like, LOLs, buy the next one, suckers. So if you're you could kill Apple about a lot of things, and we're about to in a minute for at least a couple things. But you got to give credit where credit is due, and the support for the software and the money that you spend, you're going to get mileage out of your dollars with an iPhone device. So now let's get into some of the new features. I didn't put new in quotation marks, so. Number 1. Widgets. And you know what? My Android users, Android friends, listen. Get the giggles out now. Okay? Get the little elbow ribbing to your friends. Get it all out now. I understand, widgets. You're asking what year this is. But like the NBC promos from back in the day, if you haven't seen it, it's new to you. So widgets for the iPhone users, they do help your home screen. I like having the weather there. It's very convenient. I actually like this photo feature in the Smart Stack, and I'll tell you why. We take so many of these photos all day, everywhere you go. Everything's got to be a photo, and then you never see the thing again. You never see your photo again. So this at least reminds you, hey, this is what you were doing on this day in 2018. Here's a few photos from 18 and 19. Here, they'll smart label it furry friends or something like that, and they'll have pictures of your cats or your dogs or whatever it is. And you get to see the photos again, and you get to enjoy, which I like quite a bit. Some of the other things that was always a problem with iPhone that's way better on this update. You hit a blank space, and you can see how they all start dancing. Okay, we zoom in there. You get the plus. This is how you add the widget. I'm not going to show you that. There's plenty of videos on that. They start dancing. Let's say you're not using one anymore. Go ahead. You hit that minus sign, remove from home screen. It's not gone. You didn't delete the app. It just leaves your home screen. It goes to something quite similar, the app library, to an app drawer. Yes, I know. What'd we say about the giggling? There's an app drawer now. They could call it what they want, app library. Apple has one now, and it's great because you can avoid those 37 pages that you usually had on your home screen on iPhone, apps that you didn't use in 6 years, but you don't want to get rid of. You don't want to delete the data or whatever it is. So now you can just remove them. They're still on your device, but they're out of the way. So you can have a cleaner home screen, which I think is quite nice. Picture in picture, I'm not going to explain. You know what that is at this point. The big thing, and this is huge, and this especially, I know I have a lot of people that enjoy BlackBerry that watch this channel. They have done a significant job with the privacy for the iPhone new OS, for OS 14. These apps now, when you open them for the first time, ask for permission for all kinds of things. Stuff that I didn't even know that was just standard, which you knew was standard because you saw the feature, but you didn't realize it, and it's nice to be asked. The one thing that you see a lot of now that you didn't before is now it'll ask you, hey, do you want this particular app to have permission to contact devices over your network? Which is good. Because how many times do you have YouTube open, Twitch open, something like that with video, and it just reaches out to every smart TV you've ever had? And you could do that thing where like, oh, beam to my smart TV, beam to wherever. Yeah, that's a nice feature, but I would like to give permission to have that device accessed. Now that happens. All these apps, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Maps checks a lot, every single one of them checks, hey, listen, this is using location data. Are you okay with that? More than before. And one of the things I really like that they did, and we'll show you that now. So we'll turn on the camera here. Okay? And in the top, zoom in on that. In the top right corner, there's a little green dot. Okay, that little green dot. And when you're on a phone call, that'll be a little yellow dot. If it's green, that means the camera's in use. Whatever app that is that you have is currently using the camera. If it's yellow, like when you're making a phone call, that particular app is using the microphone. That is a fantastic, simple little touch that is really, really comforting. Because now some of these apps that are hiddenly using the microphone or hiddenly, they're now exposed. If it's using the camera in any way, shape, or form, you can see it and say, hey, well, hold on a second. Why is Twitter using my camera? Why is this random app, this new one that I downloaded, using the camera or the microphone? Is it recording me? Is it what? It's great for that extra level of security, especially with all the data breaches and hacks that you find out about. If Apple can become the one that takes that mantle of security, I think that's going to be a big bonus. Battery life is excellent. This one is a compromised battery. This was my daily driver for 2 years. When you go to the battery efficiency, battery health on this device is at 85%. I can show you that there. 85%. And I'm getting, I would say, 4.5, 5 hours screen on time, and the battery's not dying. So I know some of the videos were concerned about, hey, what are all these widgets going to do on the home screen? All this stuff being accessed in the background, all the extra resources that the new widgets would take. Negligible difference. At least in my experience, it's very well optimized. And that's something you'd expect from them, right? If you wait 6 years for these features like widgets, you expect when Apple finally gives them to you, since that's been their MO, that they'd at least be optimized, that they're not going to kill the performance of your device, which is true. One of the big things that used to be a giant pet peeve, and this applies to Siri as well, we're going to go ahead and call this device. So let's say we're doing something. Let's say we're on Google or on Twitter or something. We're looking something up. And you get that phone call. We all get so many robocalls now that it really gets ridiculous. But you get that phone call. So let's go ahead and say, I'm calling from a V20, so it might take a second. But we'll go ahead and But look at that. Right? It doesn't break away the entire screen. It just gives you that little bit at the top that you can, it's another robocall. You could ignore it. You could send it to voicemail, whatever it is, and it's done. I love that. It's a little thing, but it's so fantastic to finally have, because even the Android phones really don't have that. It doesn't break away whatever you're doing, because it is jarring. You're sitting there and you're annoyed. You're scrolling through. You finally get to something that you wanted, and boom, robocall. Boom, junk call. Call you don't want to answer. Comes through and just breaks your concentration. It's great that they made that where it's nice and simple. And Siri is the same way as well. It's just a little globe kind of at the bottom here that comes up and doesn't really interrupt the rest of what you're doing. Some other stuff, some minor UI stuff. I like the way the contact info is. I'm not going to pull anybody up because I don't want anybody's number and stuff out there. But I like some of that stuff as well. They've kind of rounded, squared off stuff. It's a lot of design stuff from the iPad Pro now, where you're going to have those. It's a square-ish device, but with rounded corners. A lot of the contact squares and little buttons that you have, the little radio buttons are now of that design style. And so I like some of the icon changes. One of the other things that's kind of a minor thing as well, but it's what I really like. Let's say that you're in a group chat, okay? See how the bubbles for the names, some of them are bigger? Well, usually you just get a bunch of names there, and you don't know who spoke last. The size of the bubble is the order in which they spoke. So the person who just sent that last text to you, their bubble's the biggest, and then so on and so forth down the line, which I think is a little thing, a little touch, but something that really is convenient, because before, in those group messages, you just had everybody's name there. You don't know who just said that at a glance. So that way you don't have to go down into it and read. You can see, hey, okay, that's whoever just said that. I think a minor detail, but one that definitely adds to the easy use. So overall, good performance, doesn't kill your battery. Lovely to see on these older devices getting the features. Something like this, $450, you're getting the latest and greatest all the way back to the iPhone 6S. I understand there's some compromises to be made there. I might make another video on how the beta runs on that, because I'm also testing that as well. But let me know your questions, your comments, anything like that regarding the beta itself, if you're using it. Oh, by the way, if you're just a minor aside, if you're a Pokemon Go player, don't download the beta. Pokemon Go it breaks at any little change, so don't go ahead, because you'll be without your Pikachu for a little bit. But if you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Stevealicious day.